Alright, video response to some guy called Old Hacks. He posted a video, posted a link, whatever. He's got 241 of his own videos as response videos, so I don't know if responding to his video makes much sense. But anyway, it's beside the point. Alright, so he's bitching about the fact that I'm not too enthusiastic enough about and pushing enough the idea of direct democracy, which would be, instead of having representatives, people you elect to go do the Washington thing and write policy, we the people would effectively write the law and vote for it by a referendum. And I'm for referendums. I'm just for non-binding ones, or binding only if there's a high consensus vote reached. So if we put some things on the ballot, like a balanced budget or some kind of other stuff, and there's a high enough percentage of votes for it, like 70% or 65% or some kind of big number, then it would be policy. Then it would be written into the Constitution, even if it's a high enough number. Yeah, let's have a direct way to rewrite the Constitution. Great, no problem, as long as the number's high enough. So generally speaking, I'm for direct democracy. I mean, ultimately, I'd say yes, let's have it all direct democracy. Let's have it all spelled out, all the policy on the internet, everything. Let's vote electronically. Let's do all these kind of things. But you got to do them incrementally. Build the infrastructure for that first and get people used to that idea. Because the way it is now, people will vote, one day they'll vote for no taxes, and the next day they'll vote for spending. And so the two things won't match. People will vote for policy that doesn't make any sense, like they've done in California. Yes, let's reduce our property taxes and then not pay our bills. Referendums are usually too simplistic. They're just not a solution to a problem, and they create consequences that then have to be dealt with. So that's the irresponsible part. So in my opinion, the better move is to go for instant runoff voting first. All right, it's a smaller change. In my opinion, it has a bigger impact. Get rid of the geographic voting districts, and we're really going to have it made. And then referendums on top of that would be just great, because then the people writing policy would know public opinion. At the same time they're writing their policy, they'd get elected and also know what people want in terms of what their opinion is on issues. And if they did something to offend those opinions, then they're going to sit there and get unelected the next term. So I'm for a lot of stuff like that. I think we can have elections more often and just make them less of a production. I don't like the idea of senators being in office for 6 years and stuff like that. I think it's too long, because you can't undo a mistake. And then you got 6 years of an asshole, and that's bullshit. So there's lots of things to fix. I don't know. I took a brief look at your subscription list. I didn't see my instant runoff voting channel, which I'll post a link to, as one of your subscriptions. So maybe you're dropping the ball. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel to say, yes, instant runoff voting is a good idea. Because that's the way towards the direction you want to go in. I could say you're the failure, you're the fuck up. You can't even do the simplest things right, jackass. So I could just rag on you. I'm doing what I can to push ideas, but guess what? Nothing's going to happen until other people decide they're going to support this shit. So I don't know why the onus is on me. I somehow have to make something happen, or I have to advocate for something. And then, like I said, in the case of this direct democracy idea, I think it's a long-term answer, not a short-term answer. I don't think you're not going to radically change the system tomorrow. You're going to make small changes at a time. And as I've stated in videos, I'm all for an expanded referendums. I'm all for putting ideas to a vote every year. Even ideas, not even just political ideas, not even political policy ideas, but just plain ideas. And putting them up for a vote and letting people vote on what they want to see the world look like and what we want to invest in the future and all of that stuff. Voting is a perfect time to get a real public opinion. It's very hard to cheat and all the rest of that stuff. So it's not like a Gallup poll or some other jackass poll that is going to have guaranteed errors. It's a very reliable way to ascertain what people care about. And if we use this technology, we can get really concise and get really precise in how we pick the brains of people and find out what they really want. But it has to be done right. And, you know, the sloppiness of referendums now, no friggin' way would I want to be ruled by referendum. Because people, you know, they'll just, you say something like Star Wars, they won't even understand the technology, they won't understand what's possible, what's impossible, and they'll just say, yes, I want to be protected from nuclear weapons, when in fact the spending is destroys security, not enhances security. So, you can argue with an individual, but you can't argue with 10 million people. So representative government, in my opinion, works as long as we have the freedom to vote outside of the Democratic and the Republican Party. So if we have instant runoff voting, we get rid of geographic voting districts, then we're going to have the freedom to vote for people we trust. And we're not going to be voting for liars anymore. You know, liar B or liar A or liar C. We'll be able to vote for somebody we trust to be reasonable in how they're going to approach the art of compromise, because a lot of that's, you know, it's a fact of life. You're going to have to compromise with the rest of the people and their interests and all that stuff, and you want somebody who knows when to pull the trigger on the compromise and when not to, when to stand for a principle and when not to. And so it takes a man to do, it takes a person, a human being to do that, a person with judgment. And if you try to do that through referendum, it'll just be incredibly stupid, ugly, pointless. You just end up with slop. So I think look, what can I say? Like I said, I support the general idea of getting more public participation. Okay, but I don't, more accountability from government officials, more choices. I'm for all that stuff. But the idea of going to a direct democracy tomorrow, fuck that. Because people are just going to want one sentence policy. And that ain't going to work. I don't want to pay no more taxes. That's all they're going to write. You know, but I want a lot of this stuff. You know, so forget it. That's why I don't support it. That's why I don't advocate for it, because I advocate for things that I think are a hell of a lot more practical, like instant runoff voting. So anyway, yeah, subscribe to the channel.